I'm Beth, and as a very quick rundown, I'll say this. My life has not been easy. It has not always been good or kind. I will likely reference some things in this that may trigger people, so please, if you are in a bad mental state, put this down for now. Know this, your feelings are valid even when everyone or yourself feel like you are being unfair. The worst thing to ever happen to you, if you are lucky, may be that you broke your arm or your parents divorced. These things can cause trauma. This trauma is valid. I hear people say that, oh, I'm lucky because it was only this. Other people have it worse. Other people have been through worse. Now, while this is technically true, your trauma is not about other people. It is not about other people in other countries. It is not about your parents. Maybe you were sexually assaulted by someone you knew and trusted. I consider myself lucky because I didn't know my assailants. But the truth is, it's not lucky. It's still bullshit that I had to go through that. It's bullshit if you have to see yours at family gatherings, and it's bullshit that I will never know where or who mine were or are. One of my funniest memories is sitting at the kitchen table eating spaghetti, and my mum's ex-partner told me it's time to pull my socks up. I was less than 10 years old. Not knowing what this meant, I looked down and said, "But I'm not wearing any." He picked up his spaghetti and threw it against the wall. There was spaghetti everywhere, on the wall, the floor, even the roof. Other people believe that this should be a scary memory, and that's okay. For me, it wasn't. Trauma is an individual experience, and even if we lived the same life, you and I would still form traumatic events differently. My greatest recent trauma was watching my little sibling deteriorate in their mental health and attempting suicide so regularly that all the ambulance attendees knew them, recognizing our address. Eventually they succeeded. A lot of people have been sympathetic and even empathetic. But in some strange way, I'm happy for my sibling, finally out of that pain. Of course it's hard, and saving their life so many times has caused me a great deal of trauma, and I do get very upset some days, but I'll never be mad at them for it. I will always love my alien being. Now the reason for this whole thing, all the rambling and experiences, just because your life is subjectively better or worse, does not mean that my trauma or yours is less than or unimportant. If I'm tired because I've been having PTSD attacks and you are tired because you couldn't sleep or you have a baby, we are still both tired. It's okay to have different reasons. It's okay to be tired regardless of reasoning. No one should ever tell you that it's not a good enough reason or that you should be grateful because others have it worse. One of the greatest things I have learned in my life is that people who have experienced a lot in their life, are considered too old for their age. This is true. No child should have to live through big trauma. It ages you. It makes you weary. Some people cannot tell who is walking around the house just by the tempo of their footsteps or the way the floors creak. Not knowing is because you never had to learn it to survive, and still your trauma is valid. Maybe yours is a single event, and mine is most of my childhood. Still, I say it is okay to be traumatized. My memories often affect the way I raise my kids. I'm trying to break the generational trauma. For example, my father beat me and I turned out fine. telling kids to shut up when they aren't even being that loud because we were seen and not heard kids. I am trying to reconcile the fact that my children have way more technology and are not allowed to just disappear from sun up to sundown. The street lights came on and you had better hightail it home. I'm trying to yell less, threaten less. I'm taking everything in my childhood that I hated and trying to do better, or at least less of those things. I am not saying that you should never say no. I am not saying that you shouldn't yell or have bad days. We all have those. I just believe that we should all be trying to do better than our parents. We should be taking what we hated and trying to do less of it. I don't know of anyone who had a perfect childhood. Maybe whoever reads or listens to this did, but maybe even the picture-perfect ones still have something they hated. Parents not around enough, or not there emotionally. Maybe they only got affection in the form of money or gifts, and never a hug or a bedtime story. I do not know your story, but now you know some of mine and some of how I feel in terms of how we each feel in the face of trauma. Know this: I love you. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of your feelings being cared about and validated. You do not have to excuse or even ever be told that it's not enough, because you are enough. And your experiences are enough, regardless of what caused them. Thank you.